Hello, Abigail here with the astrology of this week. And yes, y'all, this one is a doozy. It is the week of the Mars Saturn conjunction. This happens every Mars cycle, so a little bit like a year and some change. And it's a lot, it's intense. It is going to feel too much. It's going to be too much. It's also in orb of Neptune. It is at the end of the week, so we do have other things to get through before we get there. We are coming to the end of the Saturn Neptune conjunctions with the personal planets, so happy to see that, but we have to get through it. We have to make it to the other side. And it's an interesting week. We do have like moments of light, but we also have a lot of intensity and teeth. It just feels very bitey this week. But we do start off on Monday with the Venus Jupiter sextile, and Jupiter has finally moved from 15 degrees. So this is kind of like our first fully forward Jupiterian moment. It's meeting with its other benefic. Its other benefic is in domicile. Jupiter is in its exaltation. And so we do actually start this week off with some sweetness, with some progress, with maybe not like a major dream coming true, but definitely being like, oh, I can see some goodness. I can feel some love and some care. Um, I will remind you that the benefics in this type of astrological sky are mitigating. They're not necessarily bringing in like massive amounts of like abundance and energy and like making everything okay, but they are softening what else is going on. So maybe if you have something specific in your chart, you're going to experience something really, really good. However, a lot of this is just making it less bad. Not to say that you're not going to find some really beautiful, rich moments on like Monday and Tuesday. Not that you're, and even Sunday, but this is going to thankfully soften things a smidge. So if you're like, why are things so rough? Just always remember that it could be worse. It could be worse. And Jupiter, I've seen several people be like, why isn't Jupiter doing the work? Why isn't Jupiter like an exaltation doing more? And it's like, well, Jupiter is mitigating. Jupiter is intervening in situations that are not great and making them not as bad, which is kind of mind blowing considering how bad things are. But this Venus sextile Jupiter is softness, it is connection. If you have been hoping for a friendship or a romantic relationship, I'm not going to say that like you're going to meet this person on Monday, because Monday is kind of a tricky day just in the way the week works in capitalist society, and also it's with the moon. But there is a tenderness here, there is a sweetness and a softness, and also the moon is going to, I don't know if exactly on that day, but the moon this week will be in Pisces for a minute. So there is like an ability to see goodness, to experience connection, to have something nice happen to us, to be given a message about how much someone loves us, or to see our value in some way. Also, might be a desire to go buy yourself a snack. Do it. Buy yourself a treat. In this hellscape, who cares about saving that at this point? $17 croissant. It's not that much, but if you get a coffee, it could be. So definitely dig into this. If you want to do like an abundance or a money candle or any type of spell, this is the day to kind of activate that energy on Monday. On Tuesday, we get Mercury sextile Uranus at 29 degrees. For some of you, this is going to be surgery. This is going to be needing to get surgery or scheduling a surgery or even actually having one. Obviously, this is not medical advice. This is just what I know of medical astrology. Um, Big day for my girls with endo, actually, with Mercury sextile Uranus. We might be seeing more information about the new diagnostic criteria. You might be meeting with a practitioner around this time to get an endoscopy or to talk about intervention. It doesn't have to be endometriosis, but Mercury kind of at the edge of Pisces, we are talking about kind of like the inner world, the things we can't see, the stuff we have to like, the medicine that it has to like dig into stuff to find things. But outside of like medical stuff, this is also a day of new ideas. You might finally get a solution to a problem. Will it be an average, normal, everyday solution? No. This will be you jimmying the universe in order to get a solution, but it is there, it is possible. And then also, because it is at 29 degrees and Mercury is fast moving, Mercury moves into Aries on this day. Now, straight into its, into the orb of Neptune and into, close proximity with Saturn and Mars. So energy is going to be high. People are going to be popping off. This is like the official slamming of the door on that Mercury retrograde that was such a trip earlier. We have been, for like a week, we have been out of that shadow period. But this is kind of like the official, like, excuse me, kicking that door shut. So, but we're instantly going into Aries that is ruled currently by a domicile Aries, a domicile Mars. People are going to be popping off. Anger, anyone who's been suppressing anything, the mask comes off. Also, if you're having a baby around this time, they're going to take over the world. And maybe you. Very spicy babies born this week. But I enjoy Mercury in Aries. I have it natally. It's direct communication is a little silly sometimes. Do we get things wrong? Yes. But honesty, definitely there, whether you mean to or not. So we are getting this kind of fresh energy. We are officially kind of leaving the winter astrology behind when it comes to Pisces. So I, for one, am pretty happy. Then on Thursday, big day, guys. Mars sextile Pluto. This is when violence is high. We're going to be seeing people fighting against systemic violence. We might see some I always find with any type of Pluto interaction, we might see some kind of shocking information or learn about some new, fresh horror. It is in a sextile, so it's not as bombastic as a square or a trine, but you might start to see percolating on the internet certain kinds of information and stuff, especially when it comes to war. I do wonder if it has something to do with the satellite images they are suppressing, especially since we're having a Mars Mercury Saturn conjunction later in the week. Um, but this is kind of the opening of the egg, in a sense, the cracking open of the Saturn Mars conjunction egg right here. Um, and then we have Mercury conjunct Pluto on this day and the Sun conjunct Chiron. Mercury conjunct Pluto, not Pluto, Jesus. Mercury conjunct Neptune. This is a very Mercury conjunct Neptune thing to happen, me being like, Pluto is Neptune. With a Mercury conjunct Neptune, we have only experienced this in the past several years. With Neptune, where it's dreamy and artistic, in Aries, it's a bit more chaotic. It is a bit more spicy, bombastic. Yes, there is aggression in there, but there is this ability to kind of put words and to get legs on our dreams and desires, to have a moment where we're like, oh, that's what I want. I don't know why I want it, don't know how I'm going to get it, but I know that this is something that I want and something that I desire and I crave. Um, Also, I talked about, Neptune, Saturn conjunction stuff earlier in the year. And I do think this is also going to be a rise in like a return to more alternative styles. And I really do think Mercury is going to start to bring up these kind of more Aries, Neptune things. I think we're going to see in fashion. And if you want to like know more fashion stuff, you should check out AP Astrology, Anthony Prada Astrology. He does lovely work with astrology and fashion prediction. But I think next year we're really going to see the effect of Neptune and Aries, and we're going to see a lot more sharper angles, more alternative stuff. Also, people are going to be really pushing back against this like starvation culture and plastic surgery and Botox. Also, this comes with people having less resources to share, and so I think we're going to start to see people being more creative with their beauty, more creative with their outfits and accessorizing. This is also a reminder that private equity is buying up thrift shops. And so there's going to be some kind of pushback. And I wonder if this isn't going to be something kind of big in the news moving forward. Just thought I had. But it is a moment to dream, but it's also a moment to advocate for our dreams, to advocate for the unseen. I will say if you're sensy to energy, this could also be a time where you get some psychic attacks. So definitely up your protection at this time. Also with the energy, a lot of like humans are throwing energetic violence hither and yon. So just watch your back. People are very easily pissed off. A lot of people are activating energies to attack other people, especially in their own community. We're seeing a lot of backstabbing. So I've had to do some friend some magic for some friends to help them combat some really aggressive attacks from other people in their community. So just keep that in mind. That's happening. And then we have the Sun conjunct Chiron, recognizing that Chiron goes into Taurus this year. And this is our last Sun conjunction with Chiron in a minute. And it's going to be bittersweet because it's Chiron. I think it's going to be a moment of seeing how far we've come, also recognizing the people we have lost in advocating for ourselves. Now, I do think Chiron going into Taurus does mean that the work in Aries will kind of bring in some new people, but Taurus, when you strip it down, does very much, especially in childhood, represent a space of survival, especially when it comes around physical needs. So Chiron and Taurus is really going to be triggering people's lack and lack of resources, lack of connection, lack of care. But I do think in the positive side, it's also going to be bringing in a lot of new people, a lot of new connections where we've had to like strip down our friend groups and be like, well, that's not going to work anymore. You know, I had to clear that person because they couldn't respect who I am, or they couldn't see the vision, or they kept putting me down and telling me like I was too into myself or something. But with the Sun conjunction, we are going to see clearly the effects of this purging and we're going to feel isolated. We are going to feel, I think we're going to feel proud of ourselves for what we've done, but we're also going to feel sad for who we have lost because they could not join us on the journey, because they were not ready to allow us to be ourselves. And that's sad and it's hard. And, you know, the next day we have the new moon in Aries. So this Chiron conjunction is extending into this new moon and will be heightened by it. So expect the weekend to be a bit of a sad one. Also, stuff is going to pop off because this is all happening in Aries, but it is going to pop off in a really unhinged, uncontrollable way. The last 2 years, the astrology has literally been like, and there's nothing you could do. Except your little spells and your little activities and all of these things, which, thanks, guys. So just know that, you know, with the Mercury conjunction, we will not be seeing things clearly. We'll be seeing things in depth. We will be, you know, feeling energy in a heightened sense. But when it comes to our visibility and our ability to communicate, it might be a bit foggy. And like I said, people be popping off and being aggressive. So we do have that new moon. I will make a longer video on this with the accompanying tarot reading like I normally do, but it's at 27 degrees of Aries on Friday. So just keep that in mind. Conjunct Chiron within, you know, not necessarily within orb, but within the same sign as the Mars Saturn conjunction that we're going to have on Sunday. So just to keep it in mind. It is pretty unconnected from anything else in the sky besides Chiron, so we do get to kind of focus on ourselves and sit with our pain. Might trigger feelings of like, how am I going to survive without community? How am I going to survive now that everything has been cleared and I don't have anyone? Do I think that is coming? Yes. When we create a vacuum, something will fill it. Be manifesting it being filled with something that you want, like community and care. But this is a moment of being like, and this is what my trauma has brought me. This is what me developing through my pain and trying to be healthy and trying to grow and to learn has brought me. And there's a sense of loss because it has brought you endings of relationships and people who aren't ready to follow and come with you. And that's really hard. It's the pain around advocating for ourselves and realizing that some people don't want us to advocate for ourselves and would be much happier if we would just let them stomp all over us. I too have been experiencing this. This has been a year of 2025 and 2026 years of cleaning house with people I love dearly, but who are not ready to join me and to be loving, nurturing people. So if you were in that boat, I understand it's really hard. I'm not crying now because I'm trying to keep it together, but I have shed many tears. Then we have the biggie, the big one, the really intense big one. We have the Mars Saturn conjunction on Sunday. This is going to, I don't really engage a whole lot in mundane astrology. I like to look at it to understand it, but I don't talk about it a lot. Although I should probably stop saying that because I always bring it up in these readings. um, but we're going to see big stuff happening in the world. Mars Saturn conjunctions are the two malefics. It is in a Mars ruled sign. The ruler is a part of the conjunction. Neptune is not far away. Pluto is sextile. um, we are also in a loose, very loose, but still kind of affecting a situation with our friend Jupiter as well. And so this is just really spicy. We're going to see a lot of stuff popping off. Also, this administration has a habit of doing a bunch of shit on the weekends, hoping for a slower news cycle, which it doesn't even work because we have internet. Um, but basically ruining our weekend. I also think we might see some renewal and intensity of ice activity across the US. They apparently put in a big order for a bunch of the non lethals, which are in fact lethal, especially if you fire them at close range. People lose eyes, people have head injuries. Um, the people holding said less lethals or less than lethal. I don't remember the correct term. So definitely violence brought to our doors. Also, this week is the full hitting of the effects of war. It's when everyone's like countries that are closer are feeling it, and the US is always a little separated by a degree because we are kind of isolated off on our own place. Same with Canada. Um, a little less so with South America because they're a bunch of different countries and they have a bunch of different connections. Um, but things are about to get bad. I also think anyone who's been biding their time on retaliating to the US, this is when that falls apart. But yeah, I saw someone say that Congress is basically just an insider trading club at this point, and it is. So yeah, it's going to get harder. It's going to get rougher in our personal lives. If you haven't set boundaries, people are going to come in with knives who you haven't set boundaries with, and they're going to try to start something. If this is not legal advice, this is not take this as you will. If you have anyone in your life who is especially volatile, be really careful. This is the type of energy that sets it off, and this isn't to like make you afraid, but this is to make you prepared. Stay away from them for like astrology till at least next week if you can. Just be protective. Don't do anything that puts you in an isolated place. This is also an opportunity to set boundaries, to stand your ground, to say, no, I'm not going to participate. This is my life. This is my thing. I'm not playing stupid games to win stupid prizes. We will all be challenged in some way where Aries hits our house, where Aries is in our chart. So definitely look that up. Honestly, not a bad week. Also, not a bad year to get an astrology reading. You can pick me if you want. Or to get a mediumship reading. I also do that. Or to do Reiki or anything that supports you. And yes, I do all of these things. No, you don't have to pick me, but I would appreciate it if you did. Anyways, so this will be bleeding into next week. We also will have, the Mercury Mars conjunction happening and the Mercury Saturn conjunction happening over the weekend as well. This is all going to be very, very wrapped up in all of this. It's going to be really like super entangled, and having that Mercury conjunction means there's going to be a lot of language and communication. And also, never forget, Mercury is merchants and trade and money. And so we're going to see currencies crashing in the next, as the runoff to this, we are going to see heightened aggressions. I think we're going to see more targeted attacks. I do wonder if we're not going to see a of someone. Not sure whom that will happen to. Also, empires eat themselves, and so I think we're also going to start to see the infighting getting pretty crazy again. Partially because they've cleared everyone else out who disagrees, and so they have no one to fight but themselves. So yeah, just be prepared. I don't normally like dig in and go, oh no, doom and gloom, but Mars Saturn conjunctions absolutely. And never forget the Mars Saturn conjunction that we had in 2020. Oh yes. So just be on your toes. Recognize that words are going to be very spicy. Also recognize that people are going to be taking things the wrong way, and you get to choose how much explaining you do. Um, some people are just going to want to misunderstand you if you're posting online. Know that bots, Neptune and Mercury, are going to be on their toes, and to fight and use propaganda, we're going to see more and more bots. I know, seems impossible, but no, it can get worse. So just be really cautious around believing what you see and do your research. Go check people's replies if you're on threads to see what side they're on so you don't support people who are not good. And also, you don't get rage baited by your own community. I really hate it. Some of our community online like to bait their own people and then go in the comments and be like, you silly, foolish person, what have you done? And yes, I've had personal experience, and yes, I'm salty about it. So if you don't want to be pissed off, just make sure before you respond, you just check a few boxes. Anyways, my dears, that is this week. It is a lot. There is no easy, simple, fun way about it. It's hard. It's not easy. Um, we're going to be going through it. It's going to build through the week. So recognize that. I will say with this new moon in Aries, I do think it's a beautiful time to manifest and call in new people. I do think it's a beautiful time to ask for healing and connection and care, um, because of the kind of the isolated nature and because of its proximity to Chiron. To say, hey, I want to bring people in that help me heal my wounds. I want to bring people in who can come and meet me as I am and who find me delightful and stimulating and very Aries, whether you have someone in your chart or not, just having that kind of spark and that hunger and that desire. I think some of us could really use that right now. Just have some people crave us. I mean, they're sexually or non-sexually. Be nice to feel wanted. So yeah, definitely for me, it feels like a good moon to call in connection and care, because where we are most hurt is where we most clearly need love. And yeah, that is my final message. Keep an eye out for that video. I will also be posting more candle readings, and I'm probably going to start doing some predictive tarot because I think people could use some guidance or just something fun to like listen to and be like, oh, where's some hope for the future, or where's some guidance from spirit about my next steps and things like that. Because I've been enjoying it, actually. That's how I'm surviving, is I'm enjoying other people's content. And I'm like, you know what? I would have fun making this. And I think people who follow me would enjoy that as well. Anyways, my dears, I will see you all later. I wish you a blessed week. Be gentle on yourself. Take a deep breath before you scream back at someone. Not because you shouldn't scream back, but because is it worth your time? Anyways, have a blessed week, and I will see you all later.